everyone, today we're gonna have special right triangle 30, 60, and 90 degrees. There is another video that is focusing on 45, 45, 90. I will put the link of that video in the description box below. So today we're gonna have the 30, 60, 90. So there are three angles here. That's the 30, 60, and 90. That's how we got the name of this special right triangle. This is called special because there's a special formula for it that we can quickly determine the length of the sides. So these are the first thing that we need to remember. First, across the 30 is the short leg. So we will call this as the short leg. And then across the 60 is the long leg. So there are two types of legs for 30, 60, 90, the short and the long. And then this one right here is the hypotenuse. Okay, so these are the formulas that we need to remember. First, long leg is equal to short leg times square root of 3. So the long leg is equal to short times square root of 3 since our short was x. And then the hypotenuse is 2 times the short leg, so 2 times the x. Now this one has been labeled with x, but when we have our classwork, they will be labeled with different letters. Okay, now let's have an example to see how this works. Again, these are the formulas. I put them in red box. So let's have the first examples right here. So I will put the formula up here so we can go back to it. So those are the formulas over there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is to label these parts first. So this side is our hypotenuse. This side is the long leg. And this side is the short leg. So in this problem, we are given the hypotenuse. So then we use the formula for hypotenuse to solve for the short leg. We cannot use the long leg because in the formula for the long leg, that's long leg equals short times square root of 3. But the short is missing, so we can't use this formula. So we're going to use the second formula. So that is hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short. I'll just use short for short leg. So then we can go ahead and write the value for hypotenuse, which is 6. So I write 6 for the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short. To find the short leg, that means we are going to divide both sides by 2. I divide this by 2, so the 2 is going to get crossed out. So that means our short leg is 3. So that is the value for the short leg. The short leg is 3, or our y is 3. Okay, so we have solved the short leg. Now we want to solve for the long leg, so then we can use this equation that we have up here to solve for the long legs. So the formula for the long leg is, so I'll just use the long leg is equal to short. I'll just use short times square root of 3. And so our short was already solved as 3. And then we have a square root of 3 next to it. So then this is our long leg. So that's already the answer right here. So then our long leg here would be 3 square root of 3. Okay, so then we can go ahead and label this again since our long is x. So I can go ahead and say x is also equal to 3 square root of 3. Okay, now let's have the second problem here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so pretty much the same thing as what we did on the problem on the left over there. We are going to label the parts. So it would be fast for us to plug the values into the equation over there. So this is our hypotenuse, which is 14. This is our short. And this is our long leg. Okay, so we use the equation hypotenuse since we're given with the hypotenuse. So I go ahead and say hypotenuse is equal to 2 times short. We want the short. The hypotenuse is 14 equals 2 times the short. So then we need the short, in order to solve for short, we're going to divide both sides by 2. We're going to divide this by 2 here. So then we go ahead and cross out the 2 and 2. The short, therefore, is equal to 7. So this is equal to 7. So we can go ahead and the V is equal to 7. So that's the short leg. Now we are going to solve for the long leg, which is the U. So long leg is equal to short times square root of 3. So then we have short. Now we have solved the short, which is 7. And then we put square root of 3 next to it. So this is the answer for the long leg, or our U is 7 square root of 3. And so we can label this as 7 square root of 3. Did you get these answers right here? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next example that we have here. So it's gonna have the second set of examples here. So it looks like this. Okay, so we are going to label the parts so that we can go ahead and put it into the formula that we have up here. So I put the formula there so we can always go back to it. So when we put label to this, this is the long, this is the short, and this is the hypotenuse. Okay, so we want to solve for both the hypotenuse and the short, but we're given the long leg. So we're going to use this equation. So that is long leg. So I'm going to write long is equal to short times square root of 3. So again, that's the formula right there. The long here is 9 square root of 3 is equal to the short square root of 3. So what do I have to do? I want the short, so then I am going to divide both sides by square root of 3. Divide this by square root of 3. I cross this out. So we are left with, and then I can cross this out, this 2 as well. So then our short is, you can write the short here. So our short here is 9. So the length of the short leg is 9. So then y is equal to 9. So then we solve for the hypotenuse now. So the hypotenuse is, we use the formula for hypotenuse here, which is 2 times the short leg. So that is 2 times, our short is 9. So we got the short 9 already. So hypotenuse is 2 times short. The short was 9. So then our hypotenuse then is equal to 2 times 9 is 18. So then our x is equal to 18. So then I'm just going to label this as 18 right here. Okay, so we already have solved all the parts of this special right triangle. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so it's pretty much the same thing. We're going to label the parts. This is our hypotenuse. This is, this is the long. So that's the long because it's across the 60. So that's the long. This is our hypotenuse. And this is our short. So again, that's the long right there. Okay, so then we go ahead and use the formula for long since we're given the long. So long leg is equal to short times square root of 3. So the short side is, the short side is missing, but we got the long to be 21. Square root of 3 is equal to short times square root of 3. So then I want the short side, so I divide by square root of 3. I divide this by square root of 3. I cross this out. I cross this out. So then the short is equal to 21. So our short here, which is equal to V, is 21. So I will label this as 21 right here. And then we're now ready to solve for the hypotenuse. We're going to use the second equation. So hypotenuse is equal to 2 times short. And the short that we have solved is 21. So this means 2 times 21. So then the hypotenuse is 2 times 21 is 42. So this means that the hypotenuse right here is 42. And so we can, the hypotenuse is m is equal to 42. So these are the answers here. So this is 42. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next example here. We are going to have the third set of examples. Okay, so let's take this examples right here. We're supposed to solve for the sides, the missing sides. Again, these are the formulas right here. I put that back up there. So we will label the parts. This is the short. This is the long. And this is the hypotenuse. Okay, so once we've labeled them, we are given the hypotenuse. So then we're going to use the formula for hypotenuse. So then hypotenuse is equal to, that would be 2 times the short. So we're given the hypotenuse 8 square root of 3 is equal to 2 times the short. So from here, we are supposed to solve for the short. So what are we going to do is we will divide both sides by 2 so that we have short by itself on the right side. So divide this by 2. I cross that out. So that means short is equal to 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's 4 square root of 3 is our short. So the short is 4 square root of 3. So we already got the short. We are missing the long to complete everything. So to find the long, we're going to use this equation right here. So that is long is equal to short times square root of 3. So our short, we solved it already over here, which is 4 square root of 3. And we got another square root of 3. So then this is 4 square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So 4 times 3 is 12. This is our long. And so our long is represented as letter. This can also be represented as x is equal to 12. So, and then our short was represented as y. So I can go ahead and write y also is equal to 4 square root of 3. So then this is equal to 12. That is the long side. This time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, and pause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problems here. So we label the parts. This is our hypotenuse. This is the long leg. This is the short leg. Okay, so once we labeled it already, we are going to solve. We are given the hypotenuse. We're going to use the formula for hypotenuse. So that would be hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short. So the hypotenuse is 24. Square root of 3 is equal to 2 times the short. And then we want the short by itself. So we're going to divide both sides by 2. Divide this by 2. So then we are left with short is equal to 24 divided by 2 is 12. So that's 12 square root of 3 is our short side. So this is 12 square root of 3 is the short right here. So 12 square root of 3. And then we can solve for, that's by the way, letter y is 12 square root of 3. Okay, so let's move on to finding for the long side. So the long is, again, we're going to use the formula right there. That is equal to short times square root of 3. So our short here is 12 square root of 3 times square root of 3. So then this comes out to be 12 square root of 9. So that means this is 12 times 3 because square root of 9 is 3. So then the long side is 36. So this is represented as letter K is equal to 36. So these are the two answers here. So then we can go ahead and label this one to be 36. So this is 36 right here. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's have the last set of problems. Okay, again, I'm gonna put the formula back up here so we can use this to find for the missing parts. Okay, so let's have this first example here. So again, pretty much the same thing as what we did with the other problems. We're going to label the parts. This is our hypotenuse, this is the long leg, and this is the short leg. So from here, we can go ahead and since we're given the long, we're going to use this equation. So long is equal to short square root of 3. So that would be short square root of 3. Our long is 4. So I'm going to put 4 here is equal to short times square root of 3. I want the short, so I will divide both sides by square root of 3 divided by square root of 3. So I can cross this out. So I'm left with short is equal to 4 over square root of 3. Since a radical cannot be at the denominator, so then that means I'm going to multiply this by square root of 3 over square root of 3. So this would come out to be short is equal to 4 square root of 3 over square root of 9. 3 times 3 is square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So this comes out to be the short is 4 square root of 3 over 3. Now here's the thing that others usually get stuck on. So they're gonna cross out the 3 and the 3. You can't do that because this one is square root, this one is no square root. So you cannot, you can't cross them out. So just keep him like that. So we have the letters represented by the short is M. So M is equal to 4 square root of 3 over 3. So this is 4 square root of 3 over 3. And so we want the hypotenuse now. So we're going to use the other equation for hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is equal to 2 times the short. So that means 2 times 4 square root of 3 over 3. That would be 2 times 4 is 8. That would be 8 square root of 3 over 3. This is the hypotenuse, which is represented as letter N. 8 square root of 3 over 3. So then I can go ahead and write the answer to this is 8 square root of 3 over 3. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so again, we label these parts. This would be our short. This is the short right here. So this is the hypotenuse and this is the long. So then we're going to use the formula for long right here since long is given. So we have long is equal to short times square root of 3. Our long here is 14 times short square root of 3. Divide both sides by square root of 3. Divide this by square root of 3. Cross this out. So then the short is equal to 14 over square root of 3 times square root of 3 over square root of 3. So then the short is 14 square root of 3 over 3. Since square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9 and square root of 9 is 3. So this is our short and this is represented as letter T. That is 14 square root of 3 over 3. And we are ready to solve for, again, that's 14 square root of 3 over 3. And then we are ready to solve for the hypotenuse. So hypotenuse is 2 times short. So that means that's 2 times 14 square root of 3 over 3. So that is 28 square root of 3 over 3 is our hypotenuse. So this is 28 square root of 3 over 3. And this is represented as letter U, 28 square root of 3 over 3. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!